Hello, I'm Greg Jarrett, and you are in the Strategy Room. New Fox News polls show most Americans of all political stripes support construction of the long-delayed Keystone XL oil pipeline, and they want President Obama to sign legislation approving it. Yet the White House not really willing to move on its position. Joining us now with reaction are political strategist Jessica Tarlov, Thomas Basile. Good to see you both. Jessica, there have been 5 environmental impact studies over 6.5 years. They all say the same thing. The last one came out a year ago this month. I looked it up. It said the pipeline will not significantly increase carbon pollution. The report goes on to explain it does just the opposite. It reduces carbon pollution. And yet President Obama won't decide one way or another.
He has decided. I mean, every time he trots Josh Earnest out there and says that the president will not sign a bill like this, it's not him saying it, but it's his mouthpiece saying it. I mean, he doesn't want to sign this bill.
Why?
I think it's because of special interests. I think it's because of billionaires like Tom Steyer who are going to pump money into Democrat campaigns, and I think it's a big mistake.
Is that shameless to do it for purely partisan political purposes?
It's purely partisan purposes. Then there are obviously going to be studies that say that
there aren't. 5 environmental impact studies by the U.S. government exhaustively researched.
Under Hillary.
Yeah, the last one was 11 volumes long, 17,000 pages. My goodness, Thomas.
Look, the president is bowing to these special interest groups, the NRDC and the like, and this is an opportunity for Republicans to really drive this issue. I think that they have an opportunity to get their override on this. People want the jobs, they want the money injected into the economy. The vast majority, I think the number is 65% of Americans are now saying, just build the thing. We need it. Build it. And the president is going his own way. So if the Republicans have any brains, they will be able to convince these Democrats, and then they'll be able to stand up and say to the American public, look, the president is more concerned, and the Democratic Party is more concerned about bowing and praying at the altar of these environmental groups rather than creating jobs for this economy.
42,000 jobs over 2 years, going to create $2 billion in earnings, $3.4 billion to the GDP, and more than $5 billion in tax revenue. Again, that's the report from the government after analyzing this. And yet the president, who promised shovel-ready jobs, doesn't want those 42,000 shovel-ready jobs.
Let's remember, this is a president that we have almost 100 million people not working in this country anymore. Right. We have folks who are leaving the workforce in droves, and yet he's talking to India and China and Europe about increasing emissions regulations that would kill more American jobs.
But it's not just, it's not just about the jobs. At least it isn't for me. I mean, this feels like a total gimme. Like, this is a giveaway. This is a way for the president to say, I'm going to hang tough on Obamacare, I'm going to hang tough on immigration, but I'm going to give you Keystone. You know, we're talking all this conciliation.
So you're talking reason and logic, and yet the president ignores both.
I don't like your tone, but yes, that is exactly
you
what
want to read my tone? I wrote an op-ed on this. You can check it out at foxnews.com. Click on the opinion section. Yes, maybe I was a bit intemperate. Read and judge for yourself.
I will most certainly check it out.
Yeah. Look, the other thing about it is that it's another broken promise. He promised, a solemn promise. He said, look, by the end of 2013, I will issue a decision one way or another. Right. 2013. Right. This is 2015.
There have been other things that have come up. I mean, it's not like he's doing nothing.
What's come up?
Well, we have a war on terror.
No, I mean,
again.
What in terms of this issue?
I was just saying that I think that his focus has shifted, and I'm not saying that that's completely correct. And I think, what happened with Mary Landrieu, who essentially lost her seat, right?
I was just going to say, this is another issue of Obama's ideology being willing to sacrifice seats in Congress, being willing being willing to sacrifice jobs and benefits to the economy. This is about Obama digging his heels in on his own political ideology.
All right. Do they have in the U.S. Senate, for example, you got to have 2/3 of both houses to override a veto. In the Senate, it looks like Republicans may be 4 votes shy of the 67 votes they need. Any predictions here?
I think eventually this will get through.
Really?
I think they'll
I don't know
do it.
who's going to drop, but
I think they'll do it.
The American pressure too. It's too high. I mean, we have to be able to, at a certain point, say that our Congress is doing something for the people that they represent.
And remember, there are people in the Democratic Party, particularly in the Senate, who just got a beating, that are looking and saying, "Look, we need to find some way to distance ourselves or show a degree of independence from this White House because we have other elections coming up in 2016." And I think that ultimately they should get to their 67 votes.
All right. Jessica Tarlov, Thomas Basili, if they don't, we're going to bring you back and have you explain yourself. Good to see you both. Thanks.
Good to be with you.
For more on Keystone, check out my columns I mentioned in the opinion section of foxnews.com. I'm Greg Jarrett. Thanks for watching.